All right. And we're live. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad that you are here. We have a great show lined up tonight. We don't have a special guest, but there is some special people here. We've got Ripman riding with us. Also, Sean Nafsker is with us. Anthony Peregringo and Scotty Too Hottie is with us from San Diego. Yeah.
Nice.
That's new. I don't know if I'm going to keep that one, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been called worse, so yeah,
Yeah.
So, I think
how's everybody doing tonight?
Right.
Yeah, lots of friendly faces in the chat already. Welcome. What I failed to do was lock down a guest, and so we're going to have a show where we are just going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And what we're going to talk about in the beginning to kind of warm it up is Rip came to San Diego and hung out with us for his 60th birthday. And you saw that episode if you're watching live, and it was great fun. But we'll talk a little bit about that. Let me mention a couple sponsors before we get too deep into the show. One of those is Harley Milne. He runs a school here in Southern California. It is called DreamLifterParamotors.com. And so DreamLifter will get your feet off the ground. They will teach you how to fly, but not just how to fly paramotors. They will get you to be able to fly cross country if you want. And there's all kinds of great stuff. So go check out their website, DreamLifterParamotors.com. Also, Andrew Fuller is one of the sponsors of the show. Andrew Fuller runs a repair shop and out of his gigantic garage. And so he's got all kinds of cool stuff that he sells: paramotor frames and gear and motors, and he can get you gear. But also he has this service wing repair and checkup shop. So you can go to his website. There's links in the description, but it's paraglider-inspection.myshopify.com. Go check those out. PBG Smoke is one of the sponsors. PBGSmoke.com is the website. Go check out what they have to offer for your paragliding and paramotoring needs. Started off with a smoke machine. It evolved into the Unity headset. There's all kinds of really cool stuff coming out. He's got some good deals right now. If you tune in quickly, I think there's some sticker deals he's got going on. And if you buy a chase cam, you get a free strobe set, or a strobe, at least one strobe. So check that out. Sounds like a good deal and pretty awesome. So welcome. Glad that you guys are here. Thank you for logging on. Seems like everybody's starting to check in and sign on. So it looks like YouTube did its thing and sent out the message. I'm interested. Sometimes it doesn't go out, and I'm interested to know. So let me know if you got any feedback on that. If you're not getting the alerts, wonder why sometimes that happens. But I'm dealing with some kind of anomalies with the new system. So my internet is now through satellite, and my IP address is somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And so my clock on my computer is on a completely different time zone. So when it comes time to create the show, sometimes I fail, and it might say that the show is going to be at 6 a.m. Yeah. So anyways, we had a great time. Rip came in town, went and messed around. Whenever people come in town, it always kind of inspires you and reminds you of how cool of a place that you have to fly and live. And it kind of rejuvenates your excitement for your local flying. But so Rip came in. As soon as he landed, he went straight to Gringo's. Gringo picked him up from work, and we set our plans. Our hopes were, okay, we're going to free fly if we can do that first, and then second option is paramotoring. And we did all of it. You picked a good week to come. It's good weather.
Got really lucky with the weather. I can't say enough. When I got there, Gringo took me right over to Torrey, and I got my first flight ever at Torrey, which has been on my bucket list for probably 5 years. I went and got my P3 way back when, and it's something I always wanted to do. And Anthony picked me up from that airport, man, and we went straight over to Torrey, and off I went, man, for my first ever flight. And I'll tell you what, it was out of this world.
Something you want for so long.
What was hanging off my FJ coming into the airport arrivals.
Oh gosh, Anthony, I forgot. Remind me. So many things happened in
Come
4
on, it
days.
was a huge windsock.
Okay, yeah. The windsock. He
Oh.
pulls up to the airport pickup with a windsock hanging out of his window. I knew from
10 feet
afar
high.
it was him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I might use that. That's a good idea.
So let
Better
me
put
just say real quick before we get deep in the show is that thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Robert, for your hospitality. These guys made me feel at home. They took me wherever I wanted to go. They let me use their equipment. We flew everywhere. We ate everywhere. It was great. These guys really took care of me, and I appreciate both of them.
Yeah, thanks, Rip. That's cool, man.
Anytime, Rip.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to make it happen because I know you said you wanted to do it a long time ago, and I think we almost pulled the trigger a couple times and then finally did it.
Yep.
Well, it only took you 60
I'll
years.
I'll accept anyone from the 49 states. Anyone else coming from
See, there
Florida?
you go. There's a good advert for a commercial. Paraglidingtalk.com. Making
I
dreams
recommend Robert
possible.
and Anthony if
No.
anyone goes out there. They're both
No.
fantastic.
Highly recommended. I left 5
Yes.
stars.
Yes. The accommodations were top notch.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did have some fun. There was both of us had to work because Gringo, he forces me to be at the shop and forces me to work. And could have probably took some days off, but Gringo just he can't carry that kind of weight to make stuff like that happen. So we had to be there. And
I'm sorry. I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to have like Thursday, Friday off, but where was I? I was in the office with Ripman. Ripman was doing my proposals for me. You know,
we put Rip to
calculations.
work. He came to the shop in the morning early. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. One thing I learned too: East Coast does not like to fly mornings.
Oh yeah.
No.
They
No
want
way.
all afternoons.
And it was warm. Imagine when it's like 32. Gringo will be out there all bundled
I
up.
told you guys, if I'm not in shorts and a t-shirt, I'm not flying.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't do that here.
He wanted some flip-flops. He would have launched out here with flip-flops if I wouldn't have said. Did you tell anybody about the snake in the boot?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
So we're at the house and Rip, he's trying to be kind. He puts the flying boots on the front porch and comes inside and everybody's hanging out this after the morning flight. They go outside, he goes to grab the boots and a baby snake comes out. And I didn't even see the snake. It could have been
Baby
a
snake.
rattler.
That thing was like 3 foot long.
No, it wasn't. Come on. It's
It
so
gets
I was
bigger.
It was
standing
maybe
1
5
foot.
feet long.
I was standing 1 foot next to him, and what did I do with my boots? Ripa, I hung them up,
There's a snake in my boot.
and sure enough, he goes to put it. I almost heard a little squeal out of him, and I looked over, and it was a garter snake. So it was about 1.5 feet long. It was 2 years old. It was fine, but it was funny.
Oh,
So Robert's got rattlesnakes, tarantulas, and scorpions at his house. So all the fun stuff.
I had one just before we left for the conference. I had one in the house first time.
That's crazy. I would have, if I saw that, man, I would have been gone.
Yeah, they're here.
So Robert, let me ask you a question about this shirt you're wearing.
Yes.
How does one go about getting one of those?
Well,
If you don't mind telling everyone.
you have to have landed at the bottom of Blossom or top landed at Blossom. Yeah.
Okay,
And
interesting.
you
So you're
yeah.
saying if you fly Blossom, there's a good chance you can get a shirt.
Yep, that's what I hear.
And who do we have to thank for that? The guys in the chat.
Oh, Randy's in the chat?
That's Clark Kent.
So Clark Kent was the
He
great.
designs them.
Was great with the shirts. Yeah. He made this shirt for me and I absolutely love it. I'll cherish it.
Yep.
That
I'm
is so
proud
awesome.
of it.
Yeah, I love this shirt. Thanks,
By the
Randy.
way, Blossom Valley is so beautiful to fly, guys. I mean, you see Robert's videos, but you don't really get the gist of it until you you stand on launch and you take off. I mean, we had some really good buoyant conditions that day, and I was just flying around, just staying up, and I got above the upper launch for a while, and it was just a perfect day to fly there. And I really appreciate Robert taking me there.
Oh yeah, it was super fun. I really like the fact that we had a good flying. You know, the weather can be spotty and questionable during certain seasons. And yeah, I've had numbers of people come and they're like, "Oh, I really want to fly," and then I'll feel obligated. I'm like, I'll go. And then we show up and it's a sledder. Just go right to the bottom.
Oh,
Here-
and one other thing, I had Gringo's famous tacos the last night I was there. He whipped up some tacos that were the best of the best, and we pretty much had tacos every night at different places. But yeah, Anthony's were the best.
Hey, real quick, back to Blossom. Here's a pro tip for you. Even though you fly with your 28 square meter Scirocco 3 without 80, 90 pounds of motor on your back, you cannot stay afloat more than these guys on their free flight wings. It really is amazing how obviously how much design goes into these wings. They all look the same for the most part. They all got cells and all that, but it truly is a big difference. So I learned my lesson. I'll be buying a wing soon.
You got to get
Now,
a free
Anthony,
flight wing.
And speaking of Clark Kent, he says, "Remember, Robert, you owe me a shirt. I won the spin last week." Now, I just want to say that I appreciate,
The
Clark
shirt guy
Kent's work
asking
and
for a shirt.
fashionable work on the shirts that he's done so much that I would love for him to show appreciation of me putting his name in that wheel so often as I do for him to win that shirt.
See, that's where people think it's rigged right there.
Yeah.
You catch that?
Yeah.
He's working the
I'm
system.
just saying,
He's working the
if he
system.
was to have, you got to send him a shirt, Robert, so that way I
It's
can
like
get my
the
shirt.
dang
Come on, man.
mafia.
Oh, he's
like
working. He's
shenanigans.
working a Blossom shirt. Oh no. The
Yeah,
only exception
yeah,
is Robert's
yeah.
mom. You got to fly Blossom.
Yeah, how did my mom get
That's
one?
official.
Okay, now I
Yeah.
will say this. I did take mom up Blossom on the 4x trail to try to scare her. Did you guys ever see that
Yeah.
video?
Yep.
I put
I'm
the
sure I
camera.
did
saw it.
probably
The problem
scare.
is that I already did it to my wife. Now my wife was genuinely scared. Mom was fake scared for the camera. She's in the chat right now, so she's gonna probably argue that. But when you 4x all the way to the top, there's some spots where it's a little bit scary. Yeah. Kevin can fly. He said you saw him run like an old dude who's got the taco runs.
Who's he talking about?
I don't know, but it's funny. Whoever it is. What's up, Scuba Steve in the chat? He said, I haven't seen my Fly Products shirt since I got my paramotor. Laugh out loud. I think it's too small. Oh yeah. You get fluffy when you start motoring too much. Everybody got
Now,
quiet.
Anthony,
No,
when you had the
I don't think so.
paragliding, or when you had the Scirocco 2 or 3, did you have to have the trimmers all the way in? Is that how you flew it?
They were almost all the way in, maybe a half a notch, maybe one on one line, but that's about it. Otherwise, I did pull them in to prepare for
Okay.
my land. But yeah, I mean, I was definitely getting some ridge lift at Amen's Ridge, but it wasn't enough to sustain it. So I knew it too. Right when I flew, after watching Robert, Tony Boyer, and Ripa take off, and they just kind of went up and up and gliding. There you go, Robert. You're getting some.
It was showing 160, but I
bars
was
now.
glitching out. Yeah, I don't know why I glitched out. I just checked my speed. Let's make sure. Yeah, weird. All right.
So anyway, I knew right away, right when I took off, like bong, bong, bong. If I had a
that's terrible.
Vario, it wouldn't have really beeped,
Yeah.
except maybe a little bit over by Amen's Ridge.
And I haven't said anything about your choice of directions. You did everything right. There was nothing that I was like, oh yeah, that he should have did this or should have that. You got close to the ridge, you were kicking the bushes, you were close. And the reason why you stayed up for as long as you did was because you made all the right choices. But the one bad decision that you made was to try to fly that wing at Blossom.
But
Because
you
that's
did
a
you
paramotor
twice now. You told me, yeah, you can do it. Just show up. Just show up with that wing. Just do it. Just do it. So
Did you
set me
fly?
up twice. Yeah.
You're
Here I
welcome.
am talking about it.
We are very spoiled, especially if you fly at Blossom often. It's like if I don't get a full hour of flying, I feel like I've been neglected and the weather has forsaken me. And if I land at the bottom, I feel like selling my gear and quitting the sport. That's how spoiled we are now. So the fact, I mean, you got to go back to, I was thinking about this the other day. You got to go back to the beginning days when guys were taking parachutes that they were using to jump out of airplanes and running off the hill and getting a flight. They go straight to the bottom, but they got to fly and they didn't have to pay for a plane ride. So what we're doing is amazing.
And back in those days, you know, the cells were very, very wide, very, very big, and just bulky, clunky. And I mean, you would give brake and you would hope that it would start turning. You didn't know if it was going to or not. You know, I mean, the leading edges, everything has changed in the sport so much. It's hard for people to really notice that change if they're new to the sport, but to look at the way back videos and pictures and things, you kind of, it creeps up and sinks in like, wow, you know, that, ooh, I'm glad we don't have stuff like that still. Ooh, you know.
Hey, Robert, I have a confession to make. I was making a video of my birthday when I flew Tori and then I flew Blossom. And I told you it took me 3 times to top land. Well, I lied. It's 7 tries. I came around 7. Yeah.
You got it on video?
I didn't put it in the video I made, but I did count them and it was 7. I just kept coming in way too high. You know, Tony told me don't go past that little tree. So I kept thinking if I went past the tree, I was going to hit some rotor, you know, maybe get folded up. So I eased on each time. And then finally at the 7th time, I was able to top land. But
Well,
you know,
you did the right thing.
I stuck it on. Yeah. I took it
that's the
easy
right
and I
thing.
made sure that, you know, I was gonna get it and nothing was gonna happen.
I was thinking about this the other day. The same thing will happen when you go over to El Cap. You don't necessarily want to just immediately go and try to ridge soar El Cap. You want to go and you'll go until you feel a little lift and you just bite off a little piece of that. And you go back out and then you might get a little closer and you bite off a little more. And now each time you go in, you're getting just a little bit closer until you feel confident that you can make a circle all the way in lift. And the same thing when you're coming into landing. Don't try to just go in right away and be the hero. Don't, you know, that's where maybe you can say, don't bite off more than you can chew. You want to come in, just bite a little bit. If you didn't make your landing, take a couple laps. But I will say this, if you're not confident with your landing abilities, Blossom's probably not the best place for you to go and try.
Hey, real quick, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done, Robert.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Yankee Paramotor, since we're on the topic here, Ripman Riding, how many tries up at Sand City with the Camino?
5. The first time. But I also landed, I flew his big 31 free flight wing and I landed that on the top and got blown over the back. I landed, but then a gust of wind pulled the wing and I got dragged over the back, but I was fine. It was soft sand. And then I came in. That was
at Sand City?
Yeah. Then I came in another time, crosswind, and I banged into the ground pretty hard, but I flew the next day.
It is a bit of a different technique, top landing, as opposed to just, you know, landing downland, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like Robert said, you want to feel it each time, you know, go around if you have to, you know, you don't want to just try to come in there hot and try to drop in. It doesn't happen that way. There's so much lift right in the front there. And if you come in too high, you're going to hit that lift and you're going straight up again.
Yep. Yeah. There is some thermic stuff that'll happen back there on certain days. And there's definitely some rotor action that will happen, but you've got to be farther back and lower but that going to the tree is a good marker for especially somebody that might be on an A wing or a low B, and they're coming in. I know you're flying a pretty hot wing, so you can get away with a little more, but what'll happen is you get caught in not only the rotor area, but you get caught in the compression zone, and
Right.
you can't penetrate, and you'll be back there and you'll just go do 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 do, and then you'll land back. I've seen a lot of guys tank
Oh,
back there.
That's what I didn't want to happen either. I didn't want to
Yeah.
land back there, so I was real cautious about it.
Yeah, but it does happen.
You
It's happened.
you broke out your mustache, Tori, didn't you?
Oh yeah, Robert kited it. T-Bone to kited it. Yeah,
I wanted to
they
fly
didn't
it
want to
so
send
bad.
it though. They were worried about having to hike back up 300
was-
feet.
Yeah, if I would have jumped off that hill, and the weather was ramping down, the winds were getting lighter and lighter. It was almost a guaranteed sled ride, and you have to feel it. Rip was like, "Yeah, it feels good. Come on, you should go." And I'm like, "Nah, this is going to be a sled ride." And you don't want me getting your nice wing all sandy and dirty, and it's just not. It's not
Seeing you
fun.
hiking up might have been worth it.
Oh yeah, that hike is gnarly.
I know. I
Done
thought
it a
the same
handful.
thing. I said, "There's no way I'm hiking up that. I am top landing no matter what."
So imagine this: hang gliders carrying their hang glider up from there. It
Oh,
happens every once in a while.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, you'll quit life.
Ripman was more fearful of landing out on the beach at Torrey for one purpose only, one reason only, was
Oh,
that's Black's Beach. So if
Oh,
you're local,
I know
you
nothing.
what's
I know
going
nothing
on.
about that, Anthony.
Yeah, it was beautiful days though. We went, except for the one day you can actually go on the webcam for Torrey Pines, and there was one day they went out there. Robert and Tony Boyer, go straight from work, and it's cloudy, and it was just after 2-3 days of beautiful sunny flying and everything. Tandem Torrey Pines tandem pilots were out there giving great flights, but the day they showed up, and it was cloudy, nobody was flying except for Robert and Tony's like, "Get your butts over here." So I took Ripa there, and we were there, and should have been a 30-minute drive turned into a 20-minute drive.
Was I the only one that flew? I was the only one that flew.
You flew.
Yeah. I was the only one that flew that day, I think.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I took out the mustache. I wanted to see you fly the mustache, but you didn't want to do it. So
I really did want to too. So you know what that means? You just got to come back again.
I got to come back.
Yep. Got to somehow make that happen.
Oh,
And you
man,
got to
that's
do it
crazy.
soon, because the winter is coming and all the birds migrate and the winds leave.
What do you guys do in the winter there? Do you still fly occasionally?
Blossom is like a 365 flying site.
Okay.
You can
Mhm.
almost fly year round, but like right now we're going into the season which we call the Santa Ana winds. You get the east wind, and it's not flyable at all pretty much anywhere. Like right now, the winds are died down now, but when I got home they were gusting probably 20, 25.
Wow.
So I could probably look at my my weather station. It was windy and straight east, I think, almost all day.
And October is kind of when we all have the really bad fires too, because the Santa Ana's happening. It's like every year that's when we had the bad fires. So
yeah, always around Halloween and again in January. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a nice break from the cold of 50 degrees here in San Diego. But
Yep. We had let's see. Let me see if I can see what my report said. We had such a blast though. Getting up in the morning. No, so the reason why I couldn't fly right away, got our gear out, we set up in the yard, and Jeff's there, Gringo setting up. Now Gringo had to set up an extra motor and frame for Rip, and he had I'll let you share what happened. Gringo had a kind of a weird hang situation.
Yeah, so recently I bought a new frame to fit so I can have a 140 centimeter prop. It's a larger frame. Power to Fly Cronus. Some of you guys have heard of it. I like it so far. It's a titanium frame. really lightweight. So while I put that one together, Ripa claimed it right away. I'm flying the 140, right? I'm like, all right, you can fly that. So I had to put together my old one, and I had 2 Moser 185s. I had all the fixings for a Frankenstein motor, and had an APCO split leg from 4 or 5 years ago, brand new, 20 hours on it. That was from my very first machine. Anyway, the 2 loops on the shoulder on the harness were too narrow for the 2 loops on the frame body, so I had to get some extra links, So I put that together and felt like it might be okay. So at Robert's house, we go to take off. Everybody else took off. They're waiting for me. Robert's waiting for me. The other guys just went ahead. I aborted a launch. Everything came up fine, but it just didn't feel right. Something felt weird. So I aborted the launch, went back, tried to reset up, and then the wind shift 180. So I reset up the wing again for the opposite end, which is fine, gave me more running space. And I ran, and I'm like, okay, it's up as you're running, right? You're committed now. And I went for it. And right when I was lifting, and I didn't have to keep running, really, my legs went like this. So there was just way too much pitch off the motor. And when I was flying, I told Robert, I go, come check out my aim point. And
his motor was laid out
good.
flat. It was laid out flat on his back. I can't even believe he flew that thing without it twisting up.
So yeah, I got it. I mean, right when I took off, I'm like, oh wow, okay, this feels weird. But I right away noticed I'm getting lift. I'm flying. Right away, my first thought was, oh crap, be careful. Don't over thrust it. You could stall the wing and drop out of the sky. But I was getting lift. I was going. It was working fine. But then I'm going up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a little altitude so I can figure out what's going on. And by then I realized it's not hanging right, and it had slipped up. Actually, let's see, my body, it slipped down. It was down. My body was higher where it normally sits. So the axis point was not quite right. Anyway, I flew around for 15 minutes because I was safer in the sky than I would be landing. But then it was time to land, and I knew I was going to turtle. And
no, what was funny is he came in hot. I mean, as fast as you can imagine. And I had already landed, and I had probably the longest slide landing that I've ever had, all the way across my yard, right up to the shop where I was going to put my stuff away. I don't always land there, but I felt good about it. And he comes in, he used the whole part of the runway and then extra some right up to the edge of like where it's going to be bad, like bushes and cactus and whatever you can imagine. I hear him scream.
I'm gonna show it. All right.
Oh, okay, good.
You
Go ahead
have
and show
it?
it. Yeah, I took
Yeah.
a screenshot
Oh my gosh,
of it.
yes.
You can
Yeah,
see
you
I
seeing
saw
it?
the video. It
Cuss?
looked good. He pulled it off.
I pulled
Yeah.
it off, guys.
He
Hold
pulled
on,
it
did he
off. It
cuss?
was
I can't remember.
no, I think
if he
it was
dropped
just a high pitched scream.
No swearing, no swearing. I
Okay,
came in, I
okay.
screamed, I'm alive.
Are you
Oh,
seeing
yeah,
it?
that's what I thought.
No, we're not seeing it.
No,
Wait.
I want my money back.
Yeah, I know, right?
I didn't see it.
All right, here it is.
Don't forget when you do it, you gotta
Can you see it now?
Yeah, you gotta
Oh,
cancel
yeah.
it though.
You got the crash part only.
Hey,
No, I got it all.
Ripa, you gotta
There
cancel
we
it.
go.
Make sure it's
How's
optimized.
that?
Oh my gosh, Gringo, you were about to crash land.
Oh, I nailed it. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh,
Okay, hold on. He's gotta optimize it because it's in
Yeah,
startup
yeah.
mode.
What does
Super
optimized mean?
So cancel, close it out
yeah.
again, stop sharing, and then go back to it. And when you go to select the video, there's 2 check boxes and it'll say optimize.
yeah. One's
You
got
wanna
sound,
optimize
one
it so it
has.
plays smoothly instead of choppy because of the bandwidth.
Optimize. I don't see
Did you
any
see it?
boxes.
It's at the
No.
bottom. There's 2 little
Okay,
tiny check
optimize.
boxes.
All right.
Yeah.
Here goes.
I will see it again. Take 2.
Take 2. I do want to see this because I heard it and was watching from on the other side of the stables, and so I didn't get to see him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did. Oh, sorry.
Look, it's
Oh,
Yes! Yes! Yes, I'm alive!
that was freaking great. Oh my God, Anthony.
Safe.
That
More like
was the
safe.
best. One more
He
time
hits-
and I'll get rid of it.
If you
Look at that
stop
motor.
it,
Look at that motor.
like,
if you stop it right, pause it right here. Oh,
oh my,
you can
gosh.
see how
That
horizontal
was
I was.
practically a turtle. Yeah, practically.
oh my
And
gosh.
Got any lower,
I was
you would have
all
been
the way
turtle.
out of my harness. I was trying to lean forward as much as I can. I actually considered
Look at that.
Right
coming
there,
in
right
and
there,
getting my arms in front of the risers to try and do it that way, but
right
oh my
there.
God.
Look at
I
that
think you did
mess.
pretty good, all things considering.
Oh, dude, you could have mowed the lawn with that angle.
I know. That's what I was thinking. You're taking out some of the weeds,
I
you
love the
know?
weed whacker. Call it the
Yeah.
weed whacker.
Gosh.
Anthony, any landing's a good landing, buddy. You did great.
When I
know,
saw the
yeah.
wing go like
It was still
this
poor
into
choices.
that area, I was thinking, I was like, oh gosh, that's in the cactus. And I thought for a second, like you were yelling because you were in the cactus. And I'm like, oh no, I hope he's okay. I was
That
putting
was a
myself away,
high
like,
pitched
oh.
scream, right?
Yeah. He looked like it was, yeah, it was
I
bad.
kind of let out a profanity there. When I realized, one, how hot I was coming in.
Oh my
two-
gosh, no wind.
Two, how much I could not
I
stand
got that
straight
on
up.
my head cam too, which is the full video, even more of it.
Oh my
When,
gosh.
when I make that video, that'll be
Thanks,
the next
Randy.
video I make. I'll definitely put that in there with Anthony at the end.
So,
He was so happy.
Here's the question. Have you fixed that? Have you resolved that issue?
He's got to get a new harness.
Yeah, so that's a good point. That's a good question, because when we came back to the house here, then Ripa and I did a hang test. I guess you're supposed to do them first and before, right?
I feel
So
like
we
you've
did a
done that
hang test,
before.
and it was just not pretty at all. It was really weird. So I needed.
We couldn't get it right with that harness for some reason.
Yeah.
So
I'm just surprised you didn't get any kind of torque when you took off. You didn't just start spinning.
yeah, me too. I can't believe he didn't get like twisted risers or something.
I'll tell you what. It was probably because, one, I had a decent breeze, and so as I was taking off, I accelerated into the air, and then once I got airborne, that backside drops off a little bit. So, but I didn't really lose a whole lot of altitude. I was actually able to do it. I felt I was going forward, so I could stay on the throttle. As long as I'm moving forward, I can stay on the throttle and just kind of keep an eye on it. And then I actually leaned back as much as I could, which helped the pitch angle as I throttled to at least get some more altitude. And then I was able to relax. Once I was up there, I went over to Robert. I called him on our headset, PPG Smoke headset. You can get yours now no, I'm just kidding. But it's, but hey, Robert and I's headset work really crystal clear when we're talking to each other. Really nice. I said, Robert, you got to come get a picture. Take a picture of my hang point. And I just relaxed. That was really weird was my knees were up, in my lap. Really up in my face. So that had something to do with it too. And I don't know, even though I had everything relaxed out and, but anyway, it was fun.
I would have been in the fetal position too if I was flying like that,
So Ripa flew Roberts with Jeff Hammond. They went out by the lake. He said it was a beautiful flight, huh?
That was my best flight, flying out of Robert's property, the mountains and lakes and valleys and just so much to explore. And obviously, living in Florida, I don't see any of that. I've been to places with mountains, but it was just beautiful out there. And to launch from your front yard after coffee, after the bathroom, and have a beautiful flight. And plus I got to fly with Jeff Hammond, which was, it was a pleasure to fly with him. Him and I kind of flew around all together, and it was good. I wish Robert and Anthony both were with me on that flight, but we did see him in the air.
Yeah, we got up.
We
at the
saw you
end.
guys in the air.
Let's spin the wheel and set Sean free
Yeah,
from
look at that,
the
9:30.
the wheel of spinny winny things.
No more names in the wheel. Robert St. Clark Kid in his shirt. I want my shirt too, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, you got a shirt too?
No, I don't have a shirt.
Oh.
I'm just giving minors. I'm working on my internet begging, Robert. You see?
Yeah, it's
You
good.
see how smooth I'm trying to be smooth with it,
Yeah, that was good. That's how you get stuff. You just tell them that you'll win the wheel. You're almost
Yeah,
guaranteed to
almost.
win the spinny wheel of winning things if you just give Sean things.
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny any of that.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, here we go. I've got everybody's name in here and ready, set.
All right. The spin of this wheel is brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. CalamityKiteClinic.com is where you're going to find a place where you can learn how to kite your wing. If you're at any of these fly-ins and you'll have to reach out to Sean first, but he is renowned for his ground handling and kiting skills. So if you want to be a part of his program, you just have to go to the website, CalamityKiteClinic.com, and give him some money, and then you will be taught the excellence of ground handling. And he's been doing it for a long time, and so they have like contests and different things. He will help you to be better. But tonight we're going to give away a micro SD card holder, and then one of these 3D printed throttle mirror holders, and then I'll throw some stickers and some stuff in there too. Duck Spit PPG.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Nick.
Duck.
You guys don't know who that is?
Duck Spit PPG.
That's Nick. He's at all the fly-ins.
Duck Spit, congratulations, winner, chicken dinner. Go to the website. It is paraglidingtalk.com/contact, and fill out that form. Tell me, put where you want me to send your winnings, and I'll make sure I get that out to you. And Randy, I know you won your shirt. If you don't already have one, I need to know your shirt size. So if you would just let me know what that is in the chat, make sure you get one.
Ripman Riding. I know you won one 4 weeks ago, and I've completely forgot about it.
Dang it. My internet glitched out and I couldn't hear what he said.
He said you could have saved some shipping fees while he was out here last week.
Yeah. We couldn't come to the conclusion. What did you say, Rip? You wanted to get one of those retractable scuba.
That would have worked. Yeah.
Let's do that. I'll send you one. Just send me your address or text me your address. They're amazing. You actually need one. They're incredible.
I have them. I just need another one for my free flight harness and then my paramotor harness.
Yeah, you need one.
I had two, one broke. I mean, obviously I could buy one, but it'd be a good gift.
I'm gonna get you one of the good ones. The scuba ones are really long lasting. That's what I have on my free flight setup. Yeah. My mom. I wear a small. I know you do, Mom. Go buy yourself a shirt.
He's great.
I've sent Mom like 8 shirts. I'll be like wearing a sponsorship. Like, I want one of those. Can you send me one of those?
Yankee wants a Speedo. He's waiting in the wind.
Speedo. I can
That's
make
the
that
last
happen.
thing I want to see is him in a Speedo.
Yankee would do it.
No, he wouldn't.
He would wear one.
Well,
No
if
way.
you think about it, it could be kind of creative because you could put paragliding talk, a paraglider guy, where he's like flying over the moon, just saying,
So
flying
Kevin
over the moon.
Kevin Can Fly got he got 2 shirts. So he got one of the episode 200 shirts, and he said that the episode 200 shirt's like wearing a cardboard box. It is a little stiff. You got to wash it a bunch of times. Will Fly donated $10 to Super Chat. He said, Resurgence PPG rocks. Will Fly didn't know you were in the chat. Welcome, my friend. And
He wasn't in the chat for a while. He wasn't in the chat even before the spin. So he came in after the spin.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Appreciate that. Oh,
Hey, Robert, did
yeah.
I tell you I flew to the border wall?
No, I didn't know that.
My last flight, Gringo took me over to Otay Mesa, and I sent it and headed over to the border wall, got it on video. That'll be my last video I make of my California trip. But saw the border wall and then flew into some valleys and around some lakes. Another beautiful area to fly, that Otay Mesa area.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
His whole trip, he smelled tacos.
You know what's interesting? The other night I flew Blossom and somebody was barbecuing and I was like 3,000 feet and I was smelling barbecue up there. And I'm like, wow, that stuff ended up in a thermal and went right up to base. And I was flying and I'm like, man, I need to go land. Yeah. That's pretty amazing. I do need to mention, if you accidentally blow up a prop, paramotorprops.com. It happens often, more often for some. Oh, Rip Man. And you break a prop and you're on the ground unless you have another prop. I'm just going to throw this out there. Have an extra prop when you go to a fly-in. Might be for you, might be for a homie. Who knows? But if you have one, you're not going to be disappointed. So maybe you need to go paramotorprops.com, figure out what you're going to need and buy a new one and have it on deck. I had to do that. Actually, I didn't buy one. I made a trade. I'm very thrifty, very thrifty. Yeah. So paramotorprops.com, also Nebraska PPG. If you want to get some training, you're in Nebraska. The season is closing. It's getting cold. Very soon, it's going to be too cold to train, but you never know. You want to brush up on some launch skills and you want somebody on radio to teach you. Josh Bowden, he's the man. Go down there to his site that he has. He's got a great team of people that help him and do the training. Sign up with him. There's a link in the description if you want to get a hold of Josh Bowden. Yeah. Something else I want to mention real quick since we're doing sponsor stuff. If you guys don't know Max Marion runs a SIV clinic here in Southern California at Lake Berryessa. And he has this whole thing set up. I mean, he's been doing SIV clinics now for years and years, and he's just really good. I did my SIV there. It's an incredible opportunity to know your wing. And it's also really fun to meet other people, and you kind of go, it's like a boot camp for paragliding. It actually brings something out of you that you probably didn't know was in you. Some of it is terror. Some of it is, you're getting over some fears that maybe are unjust or unneeded fears. After you walk away from the SIV clinic with Max and his team, you'll literally feel way better about the sport. There was a lot of mysteries for me before I went through an SIV, and I do plan on doing another one. Go check out his website, maxacro.com. There's a link in the description. There's also a link in the chat. Thank you, Gringo, for putting those links. So also one other sponsor is Lone Star Paramotor. If you're in the Lone Star state of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan. He's got a whole team of people out there too that will help you. So we're pretty much, we're covering a good portion of the Midwest and the West Coast. So if you're interested in being a sponsor in the show and you want to get your name out there, you want to get your name on the website and all the perks and the little advertisements and the emails and all that stuff, reach out to me on the website. Go to paraglidingtalk.com and look under the section that says sponsors, and you want to be a sponsor of the show. Then you can just contact me and we'll talk about the details. Really fun. John Wayne donated $10 to super chat. Thank you, John Wayne. Appreciate that contribution. I missed a couple shows this month, and I usually don't. Well, I'll say I missed one. That's our annual International Bible Conference. But the other one was Rip Man's 60th birthday, and we were in the air. And so I was really disconnected from that show. I really appreciate all the guys that held it together and made that show happen. Really appreciate you guys, Mega Scott and Sean and the others that were
David.
involved. David
And
Wolf.
your son.
Yep, Brighton. And just kind of handled it start to finish. And I know there was some hurdles and weird stuff going on, but it's all just for fun. We do this show. This is not rocket science. We're just here to learn some stuff, get better at being pilots and networking and meeting people. I think is probably one of the coolest things.
And being safe.
Yeah. What can we we can talk about this stuff. You can post it on social media, but really a place that you can come every week and discuss how you can be a better pilot. I think it's a cool place. So if you want to support the show on Patreon and PayPal, you can do that. There's links in the description. When you support this show, you are supporting people, whether you realize it or not. Even if you don't watch the show anymore, you're actually helping people that are going to watch it long after you're gone. And I still see a consistency of people watching videos. Some of the older videos are still getting views. And so I know people are learning from some of our mistakes and some of our shortcomings in this sport. So that's what the whole
That's
point
me,
is.
Robert. That's
Yeah.
me. I'm sorry.
Sean?
I didn't, mention it before, but I can't sleep.
You're
so
watching.
usually I
Go
Sean
back
goes
and
over
watch.
reruns,
yeah.
It's not a bad idea to go watch reruns.
right?
What's up, son?
It's better than TV. I'm just
Not yet.
saying,
Hey,
And
live.
Hey, a real quick congrats to Ripa hitting 1,000 subs.
You hit 1,000
Yeah.
subs on YouTube. So now you can technically monetize your channel, right?
I'm more interested in doing live videos. I want to do live stuff.
You
So
can
when I
do
go out to
lives.
Utah next week, I'll probably do a live video, see how it works, do a first run. Yeah.
Nice. You going to Point of the Mountain?
Southern Utah paramotor flying. Paramotor
Okay.
gathering, it's changed to gathering.
They're special like
assuming
that.
assuming it's still on and everything's there's still some hiccups, but keep watching the Facebook page. and
It's
all
still
that.
on.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are still going to go anyway, and they're going to,
Yeah.
they can't, I mean,
Listen, worst
Be
case
cool.
scenario, I'll take a ride up to a point of the mountain and do a little soaring on the point
Yep.
of the mountain. Check out Santa Croce's place.
Man,
Yeah.
I tried to fly there when I was there. It just didn't work out. I have to go back there. It looks amazing. I forgot to mention my mom. She helped with the show too. Thanks,
Oh,
Mom.
that's right.
She was
Yeah.
calling me and texting me when I was in there. She's like, "It's okay. They're figuring it out." And I'm like, "I'm going to El Cap. You guys can't figure it out."
between the low bandwidth at the house and also Blossom, I mean, it was once you drop into the valley, there's nothing. It's hard to get anything, cell service or data.
I
So,
can't believe that you had enough.
I Ubered
Oh,
it.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I can't believe you were live streaming from down there. I can't even make a phone call. Like if I wanted to get an Uber out of there, it's almost impossible. You found the right spot. And from now on, I'm just going to walk right to the palm tree row because I know it works right there.
It's the bottom of Amen's.
Yeah. Did I mention that there is a really good 501c3 organization, Resurgence PPG? If you want to support our men and women with uniform, you can do that by making a tax-deductible donation to Resurgence PPG. By doing that, you're supporting our men and women of uniform. It is one of the best things that you can do is support people who maybe have a really bad outlook at life, might be dealing with PTSD, it might be adaptive recovery, whatever it is. Resurgence PPG is an awesome group. They've got just incredible plans and for the future. They can't do it without your contribution. So with your investment into what they're doing, you'll see more guys being moved into the sport and great things happening. So resurgencepppg.com, and you can reach out to Todd Scandrett. He's got a great thing going there with Resurgence PPG.
How about that local company that keeps your flushes cleared and piping cleared all day long?
Oh yeah, American Allied Drains and Plumbing. Yeah, and restoration. Yeah, if you mention American Allied Drains and Plumbing when you call, if you say paraglidingtalk.com, you get 10% off your bill. And you never know. I was talking to Anthony, he's a friend of mine. He's the owner of the company, and he was telling me that he's had a couple jobs that were 60 and 70,000. So 10%.
Wow. Yeah, we got a few people
Paraglidingtalk.com.
here that are local San Diego. So
Yep. Yeah, you got to be local though. I don't think they go very far. Oh my gosh. People are sending me funny stuff.
No, Ripman, I got a quick question about. I've heard people talk about the mustache paraglider.
Uh,
What's so special about it? Some people were saying it's like reversed almost, where like there's different pulleys in it or something, or what's so special about it?
so all the reflex is in your hands. So when your hands up, it's like stepping on speed bar and dumping the rear trims. Okay. So when your hands are up, you're going to dive to the ground. When you pull down to your shoulders, that's where your lift is. So you could imagine stepping on your speed bar while you're flying. The paramotor is going to drop and you're going to dive, and you have to add power to hold level flight. Well, all that's right in your hands. So it's pretty dynamic.
When you're normally cruising, do you just have it kind of pulled down more, and then you would pull more on the brakes to turn?
Yeah, you let one up. You let one up and pull a little more on the other. You don't want to keep them both down here and turn. So you want one up, and when you turn, and the same thing when you turn the other way, you let the other one up. So
Okay, yeah, no, because I heard everyone talking about that. I was just kind of curious. Besides it looking like having a cool mustache logo on it,
Yeah.
what was so special
no,
about
it's
it?
it's like a power kite. The glider, it's very powerful. When you pull down, you'll rocket straight up into the air, and then when you go hands up, you'll dive straight to the ground. And it's all right here. It's all in this movement.
So when you go to flare, do you do the same thing like normal when you come in for a landing?
Yeah, you do like a 2-stage. You'll hands up, and then you'll come here, and then you'll bury them. So
Okay.
you'll come
Kevin
in
can
real
fly.
fast. It's very fast. It's a very fast glider. You'll come in really fast. So if you're not used to, something like that, I wouldn't recommend you jumping on it.
Now, do your arms hurt more since you're kind of pulling? Because I'm just.
Oh
thinking
yeah,
like,
you've
whole
got
speed
pressure.
bar.
You've got pressure on there all the time. So yeah, I mean, you definitely would wear your arms out a little quicker because you're constantly holding pressure if you want to stay level. So
Your mic's pretty
Okay.
hot, Scott. I'm not sure what.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a
Does
lot
that
of
sound any better
gain.
there? Is that better?
No.
Worse?
Give it a
Going.
tap. I can't tell if it's coming from that mic or if it's the one up above
Yeah,
you.
it's bass feedback or reverb.
That's the one. It was coming
Now
from
we
that
don't
one.
hear
up
you.
there.
Now we don't hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't hear me
There
at all
you
now?
go. Now I can
Now
hear
we
you.
hear
Okay,
you.
is this good?
Now
That's
you're
it.
Okay.
That's way
Yes.
better. Yeah.
All
now
right,
you're
sorry
in the
about that. Yeah,
You're in that top one. So
I-
yeah.
yeah,
This
kited-
mic went dead.
I kited that mustache wing, and my feelings on it was it's very responsive. It would be what you deem as an active flyer. You do not want to be relaxed and you want to be on it. You want to be feeling what's going on with that wing and what you're doing, because like Ripa said, hands up, it's like speed bar, and you're just it wants to move. It is very, very, very responsive. It is definitely not a wing that I would suggest a beginner be messing with. It is that reactive, but it is very nice, and I was very impressed with how they got that set up and working. I was kudos, yeah. It grabbed handled like a boss. I was loving it.
Now, if you're flying in, level with that, let's say, can you actually just stow it for a second to take a drink of water or do something, or you got to be on
Not
it all
really.
the
You're
time?
going to dive straight to the ground.
Wow.
it's
okay.
like when your hands up, it's like pushing full speed bar.
And dumping the
wow.
rear trims, Robert.
Oh yeah, and dumping the trims.
Have any of you guys ever flown a glider with a PK system where you step on the speed bar and automatically dumps the rear trims?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
So-
so there's a few wings out there like the Snake 3, the Warp. There's a few wings out there with PK systems, and when you step on the speed bar, it also dumps the rear trims. So that thing, if you don't add power, you're diving straight to the ground. Now, when you let off that speed bar, imagine how the wing's going to want to climb, and that's why they use that system for slalom. So when you go around the pylons, you let off the speed bar, and you're climbing on that turn, but you're in a turn. So it's very dynamic, but that's all in your hands now, that feeling. So you can imagine how fun that would be,
I think it's a wing that you want to take to like Sand City or somewhere where it's very
Yeah,
forgiving.
they say it's a coastal soaring wing. They really
Yeah.
don't suggest you fly it in thermals because of you're in full reflex. If you take a whack, it's going to be very dynamic on the on the collapse and
On the
recovery.
repair.
The
Yeah.
recovery is going to be tough.
It's
So,
not like hands up, because hands up is full speed bar again.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you want when you're
exactly.
in a weird situation. Yeah,
I remember the first time I flew with my motor, my helmet was crooked a little bit, and I went to grab my helmet, and the thing dove straight towards the beach. I'm like, "Oh crap!" And I grabbed the controls and I climbed back up, and then I was out over the water, and I said, "I got to fix my helmet." And next thing I know, I'm diving straight towards the water because I let go of the controls, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm done with that." So I ended up flying around with my helmet all jacked up like this, until I landed. I didn't care at that point. So,
Yeah.
but then I kind of felt it out and I knew what was up, So,
Well, Kevin Can Fly was saying that he was flying the mullet, and I think the mullet is very similar to the.
it's similar, but it's nowhere
Mustache.
near as dynamic as the mustache.
Oh,
you
really?
could let go of the controls on that and have enough motor power to stay level.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
interesting.
mullet's a little more forgiving. It's almost as fun. It's just a little more forgiving. Yeah. So I own
And
both
you-
of those wings, by the way, so I do know the difference of them.
What did you think when you got the mullet?
So the mullet's a little tough to kite. It's very squirrely. It's hard to stay inflated. It needs a lot of air to stay pressurized, but it's a squirrely wing no matter what. I think I let Sean kite it if I'm not mistaken, and he was saying the same thing. But it's a squirrely wing. But flying it, I think honestly, it's the flow RPM with those type of power risers on it. So I think it's the glider itself is just a RPM, which is their, high performance glider from Flow. And it just has a set of those power risers.
Kevin Can Fly, he said the mullet's good, the mustache is better.
Yes, without a doubt.
Speaking of mustaches,
they're all coming out with those type of systems.
Now they have to come out with a wing called the sideburns, and it'll be complete.
That's funny.
the Fu Manchu.
What are you going to say, Robert? Speaking of
mustaches, Gringo shaved his mustache. He looks like he's like in his late 30s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks 10 years younger now,
Yeah.
Do you miss it? Do you still go to like you're touching it, but it's not there?
Dude, it was a pain in the butt, really. And like a fool, I sent a picture. So I was messing with it the other night, and I went the opposite, the anti. I don't want to say his name. I shaved in the middle. Don't want to leave the middle, so I shaved in the middle. So I just left the little trims coming out, and I sent a picture. And when I came to the office the next morning, a big 11x18 is on the wall.
I am so proud of the team for pulling that together. I was on my way out at the end of the day and I saw them making that. I'm like, you guys are so dedicated.
Come on, let's see.
Yeah. You should have rocked it.
You look like the garden farmer. You look like the garden farmer.
Yeah, what? Dude, okay.
Jared.
Sorry.
Yes, Jared's mustache is only one side.
So my brother used to do that, and he'd walk around for days with it, and just to see if people would notice.
I cannot process that. That really messed with my OCD. I can't handle it. I mean, literally, Jared, I would probably have to chase you down and shave it off. I'd have my clippers like low key hidden in my pocket, jump on you and shave it off. Have you guys seen this? Literally, he has like this huge mustache coming out just one side. The other side's totally shaved. Big, like you could twist it. Yeah, Jared. Yeah, Sosjan. He's got a really cool Instagram. We're out of time, aren't we? Yep. We're gonna go to the after show. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for supporting the show and keeping it in your better interests. And we'll keep rolling. I've got some special guests lined up soon. So The next 2 episodes are probably going to be some good ones. We'll see how it plays out. It was supposed to be tonight, but we'll see if we can make it happen next week or the week after. So if you want to follow us, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like, and hit the bell too to get the alerts just before we go live. So thanks for watching. If I don't see you on the air, see you in the air. We'll drop
Good
you
night,
a link, so
everyone.
you can come join us in the after show. Have a
See you
great
guys.
night.